Hi, my name is Kevin Runlet. Welcome to Runlet Law Firm. If you're watching this video, you've recently signed up to allow us to help you in your workers' comp case. We're excited to do so. Just wanted to take a few minutes and explain to you the process and what you can expect, and hopefully answer some questions that you have, because we certainly want you to have low anxiety about this. We want to guide you along the way and work towards the fastest resolution that we can get to as possible, hopefully getting you back to work. So the first thing that's going to happen after you've signed up, what you have is you will be sent what's called a Google form. This is a form that'll come through your email. These are questions that we have developed to help us in representing you. Please fill that out in detail. If you have questions, call the office, talk to Sarah Kate. She can assist with that. After we get the Google form back, actually while you're answering the Google form, likely, we will be developing what's called the petition to controvert and filing that with the Workers' Compensation Commission. That puts them on notice that we represent you. So hopefully you won't have to deal with the adjuster anymore. You won't have to deal with trying to get your appointments set up, making sure that they're approved. We're going to handle all that for you. The next thing that's going to happen is we'll be moving into what's called the discovery phase of your case. This is supposed to take 90 days, but really that depends on where you are in your improvement and your treatment as far as how long that can take. It can take much longer, but hopefully not. These discovery questions that we will get from the defense are just basic questions, and they're almost always the same, so they'll be very similar to those questions that you answer on your Google form. So the next person that's going to get involved with your case from our firm is Faison Brunson. She handles all the documents. She would have filed the petition to controvert, and she's going to answer those discovery questions. She may have to call you. So if she does, don't be alarmed. She's on the team, and she's there to help you. So try to work with her, be part of this team as the client, and help us move the case forward for you. Discovery questions, we're going to send those also to the other side, to your employer and carrier, and ask them pretty standard questions about the case, and they are required to answer those. It's supposed to be an answer within 30 days, but sometimes that goes a little longer. They're also going to provide us with some medical authorizations because they'll be sending off to get copies of your medical records, and we don't have any problem with that. We want them to do that because they're going to share them with us, and the medical records are what we need to push the case forward. It's very dependent on what your doctor says and how your treatment goes. So it's important that you go to your appointments as scheduled. If you have physical therapy, make sure and go to those appointments. It really helps the case move along. If you don't go, they can actually stop paying you benefits. If you're completely off work, you should be getting what's called temporary total disability payments. It's not a lot. It's only 2/3 of what your average weekly wage was when you got hurt. And we can help calculate that to make sure it's accurate. But the other thing is there's a cap on it. So if you're a high wage earner, you're probably not going to be making that 2/3. So just be aware. If you are at work partially, but you can't work the same hours, you should get some partial temporary benefits, and we can also assist with those, so make sure and ask us. Also, remember to record your mileage traveling to and from any doctor's visit, any physical therapy visit, because you are entitled to being reimbursed for the mileage at the government rate. So if you want to turn those to us, we can send them to the carrier and make sure those get paid. So also in the discovery process, what may happen is the defense may want to take your deposition. The deposition is no more than them asking similar questions to what they asked in the discovery, and we will help prepare you for that. It's nothing to be anxious about. There's not a lot of people in the room. There will be a court reporter that takes that down, but we'll help you with it. Don't worry. It's just part of the process. The next thing you may want to think about is if the case is completely denied, or if there's issues that we have outstanding, that they're not paying a certain benefit or they're refusing to acknowledge something about the case, we may push this to a final hearing on the merits. And That's, again, nothing to be anxious about. We will help prepare you for it, but we will go to a small courtroom at the Workers' Comp Commission. There'll be a judge, there'll be you, one of our attorneys, and the defense will be there as well. So we would put you on the stand and ask you questions about your case, presenting our case. We will present the medical records that we have to the court for consideration. The defense will ask you some questions and may put on a witness, but it usually doesn't take very long. Hour, maybe two, depending on the complexity of the case. So one of our attorneys is going to help you with this. It may be me, it may be Bobby. Bobby Montgomery is an excellent attorney, and he will help you with any questions you have. And that's pretty much our team. So this is just an overview of what happens. The question also often comes up is, how long will my workers' comp case take? Well, that really depends on how your treatment goes. If you get to a point within 90 days where the doctor says you're as good as you're going to get and this is your impairment rating, we can take that and try to get the case settled. Another important issue is that there are two, people ask, how much is my case worth? Well, that depends on the type of injury. There are two broad categories of injuries. The first is a body as a whole injury, which is an injury to a body part that you must have in order to survive. Your head, your spine, internal organs. Those cases are entirely dependent on what your wage loss or your loss of wage earning capacity is. How much has that been impacted? And the way we prove that is by you going out and doing a job search. And I know that seems crazy, and people are always like, well, I'm hurt, I can't work, how can I go look for a job? Well, the law says in Mississippi that that's the only way we can prove your loss of wage earning capacity, is that you've applied for jobs, that you're recording the dates you apply, and you're not getting responses or you're getting denials. If you do find something that you can do with your injury, you're better off to earn those wages. It's more valuable than just getting a settlement through the workers' comp. So something to consider. The other type of injury is a scheduled member injury, which is a body part that you don't necessarily have to have to survive. Finger, hand, foot, leg, ear, eye, things like that. Those are scheduled member cases, and the settlement value of those cases is highly dependent on what the doctor says your impairment is. So we'll help with that as well as we get to it. So I hope this has answered a few of your questions. I hope you understand how the process is going to go. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. You can also go to the articles section of my website that has a lot of these questions that people have answered. I try to answer them in that format when I get good questions from clients, because I know if one person has that question, others do as well. So please let us know if there's anything we can do further, more than what we're doing. We're glad to help you, and we're glad you're on board.